Hello, FlossTube Stitchers. Shelly here in front of a newly reorganized pegboard wall where we have featured our newest line of threads that we carry. The company is La Fille Atalie from France. This is a really good example of their overdyed colors. Look how it goes from red to a wine color. It's called Lit du Vin, which translates to wine colored, or one source said wine lineup. I love that. I thought that was a good representation. Wine being from a French company where France is known for its wines. That's a good color to show. It's also going to be the giveaway. I wanted to tell you a little bit about the company. So it was owned by somebody named Martine, and the new owner, Melanie, is learning from her. I don't think the complete takeover has happened yet. At least I couldn't find any kind of date on the internet. But this is what she says on her blog. I'm Melanie from Tom and Lily Creations. I was born and bred in the UK in Surrey, near London. I originally was a language teacher, but I created my own design company after having our children, Thomas and Lily. I now live near Perpignan in the south of France. My designs are bright and colorful and full of humor. I like to make my customers smile. I'm an independent cross-stitch and blackwork designer, and I've designed and stitched my own creations now for 14 years. I have an intense relationship with color. It is an integral part of me and the DNA of my business. Color makes me feel alive and full of energy, and this is what I try to put into my designs, fabrics, and threads. Yes, you heard me right. She has hand-dyed fabrics as well. So I think I have about a third of her colors right now, and by the end of the summer I hope to have the whole line and also to be ordering her fabric. Her motto is "Color is life." I love that. One of the reasons I wanted to carry it was I had an ulterior motive. You remember that this was one of my Stitch Mania projects from collection Tralala, and as you can see, she uses a lot of her threads because she loves them. So we carry a lot of collection Tralala, and it only made sense that we carry the threads to support it. Sure, we could find substitutes with what we already have, but there's always room for new colors and another company. These skeins are 8 meters and they are $3.50 a skein, which is, you know, a good deal. What I want you to do is in the comment section, tell me your experience with learning a foreign language, a second language. So my first experience with language study was in 6th grade when our teacher, Miss Lang, informed us that we would be allowed to choose a foreign language when we reached 7th grade. She asked the class, how many want to sign up to take Spanish? And all the boys raised their hands. And sure enough, when she said, who wants to take French? All the girls raised their hands. And shoot, I wanted to take Spanish. So I felt like I was forced to take French because at that time, I didn't want to be the only girl in a class of boys. Well, I failed to realize that that would probably be fun, maybe not in 7th grade, but later. And also that several elementary schools merged into that one junior high, and the chances of it being an all-boy class were slim to none. But anyway, I took French, and it wasn't a bad thing because my mom had taken French, and I thought maybe that would be fun to revive her interest in it, and maybe she could help me with my homework and she could practice. So it wasn't a bad thing. So I continued taking French, and when I was a junior in high school, I was chosen as my high school's representative in the American Field Service International Youth Exchange Program for the summer in between my junior and senior years. And there were a lot of interviews and intense essay questions and paperwork that had to be filled out. And one of the questions had something to do with what do you want to get out of this experience, or where would you like to see yourself go? Not that you could choose the country, but just an idea of what your interests were. And I said that I wanted to go someplace that I wouldn't go on vacation. I figured I had plenty of time as an adult to do that, and it wasn't the point of that exchange program anyway. And I think that might have nailed me the spot because I didn't ask for something specific and I was open-minded. So I went to Paraguay for the summer. No, they don't speak French there. They speak Spanish. So on the one hand, I got my Spanish experience, but on the other hand, it would have been a whole lot easier if they had just sent me someplace where they spoke French. It was hard learning Spanish without iTranslate, a smartphone, a Duolingo app. I had nothing except a little dictionary to carry around with me all summer. So no excuses for people now trying to learn a second language. You have so many opportunities and great apps to put on your phone, and it's really fun to be able to communicate with people in their own language when you're traveling, or just if you meet somebody here. So when I got back, I took French and Spanish my senior year of high school, and I continued taking Spanish as electives when I got to college. And that's when I said, I'll take that all-boy class now. Oh, yes, I will. Nah, there were girls in the class too. And then we started going on mission trips for our church, and just because of price and availability and opportunity, 6 out of the 7 trips have been to Mexico. So that's where I'm able to practice my Spanish again. So I try to keep up with it in between trips, and I can also use it outside of class with our English as a second language students, because we have quite a few people coming from Spanish-speaking countries in our area. So that's been fun to keep up with that. I wanted to tell you a little bit about the AFS program because it has an interesting history. It actually began as the American Ambulance Field Service, a volunteer ambulance corps working alongside the French military to transport the wounded during World War I. Between World War I and II, they became sponsors for what was called the French Fellowships. These were graduate student scholarships in France and the USA. Then the ambulance service was reestablished, reorganized in World War II, and later on, international scholarships were founded. During the 1947 to 48 school year was when the first students came to the US from 10 different countries. So really cool beginnings, and I think it's neat that the organization still stands, and I'm proud to be an alumni of the AFS program. Okay, enough about that. So people have been asking me about my Stitch Mania projects, and yes, I have been stitching. I only missed 3 days in June, which is pretty good considering how busy it was. I've been working monogamously on several projects, and I plan to get out, I think I had 4 Christmas ones, plan to work on those through the month of July. So day number 12, I started Be Joyful from Country Cottage Needleworks, one of my 8 bee-themed projects, and this is what I've gotten accomplished so far. I'm really liking the choices I made for the pink, and then I even ended up using an overdye for the pot because, believe it or not, I didn't have the DMC at home. I didn't have DMC at the shop. I didn't have the Sullivan's equivalent at the shop, and I didn't have the Anchor substitute. So rather than going and buying it at one of the chain stores, I just decided to grab an overdye that I had that matched. And because I like bee things and my customers know it, I got a little stitchy gift a few weeks ago from Christine, who's one of our regular attendees at the Friday Fun Night. This is the box top. I love it. I don't know where she got it because there's no other identification, but it's this really pretty gold and silver necklace with a honeycomb and a bee design. So that was a fun surprise. I didn't expect it. And Christine said, "This is to thank you for all that you do for us." And it was very much appreciated. I'll enjoy wearing that. All right, then on day 23, I was working on, there's probably dog hair on this. And if you followed my pictures on Facebook and Instagram, that's the one where I had my dog in my recliner with me. And it is fully stitched. And just today, I added the buttons from Just Another Button Company. I was really excited to get those 2 dog head buttons because I had never had those before, and I thought they worked perfectly with my design. I'm not sure if I'm going to frame it. That would be the easiest thing to do since the framer's right here. Or maybe make it into a pillow with some fun dog fabric, but I don't want anything too busy that would compete with the checked fabric. So we'll see. I haven't had time to look for fabric yet. Then on day 29, I worked on Thankful Pumpkins from Lucy Beam. And it could be finished, but the Tin Bucket Gentle Art is on back order, and so I'm choosing to wait for it rather than use a substitute. This is what I've gotten accomplished. And the threads hanging down are there for a reason. I just wanted to tell you what I do when I have a small area to add stitching and I'm using 2 strands. I thread up the needle with 1 strand, and then I do each leg of the stitch twice. I know it takes a little bit longer, but I think the result is worth it. Then I only have 2 single strands on the back to tie together in a little knot, and then I wind those under, and it's half as much bulk on the back. So I do that a lot. I know a lot of people use the loop method for the same reasoning, to make it easy in a small area and to not have bulk. But I have used that method before, but I'm kind of a purist in that I want the threads to be going in the same direction, so I don't use that method as often. So those were my current projects and one finish. Alrighty, I also wanted to show you the models for the Rivaris Halloween accessories class next Sunday the 7th. She sent a few extra kits, so we do have more openings for interested students. That was the pincushion. This is the needle minder. This is the scissor fob. And all the materials are included. This is her packaging. That's her packaging. And then a few more things she said she has to add to the kit, but this is the basic kit. If you can't do the class, I know I sound like a broken record, but stop by on Saturday, July 6th in the afternoon for a 1-day trunk show and meet and greet with Livia and Paola Rivaris. All right, and then the giveaway from last week was Owe Them All, where some of the proceeds go to the Train a Dog, Save a Warrior organization. And Pat Stockmeyer is the name. I started to say the name I drew out of a bag, but I don't do that anymore. I use the random number generator because it saves me some time, but I still like to write out the name. So Pat, I think you've commented every single time, so it was about time you won something, and just Facebook message me or email me your address and I'll send this out to you. And then, since I have a little bit of time left, I wanted to, I think I said everything. Yeah. So I wanted to read something else from Melanie's blog. Her daughter is taking the baccalaureate exams, and those are the academic qualification exams that French students are required to take in order to graduate high school. Fun fact, it was introduced by Napoleon I in 1808, and it's still the main diploma required to pursue university studies. So there were a couple questions on the philosophy exam that were really interesting to Melanie. The first one was, is it possible to escape time? And I just wanted to read you her answer because I thought you would appreciate it. This is Melanie speaking. So my simple answer would be that yes, it's possible to escape time when you stitch. Stitching allows us to escape completely, to forget about time, to get out of our problems or our troubles. It allows us to let go and open up to receive messages, answers, and solutions. It permits us to take time out in our day, to put time on pause in order to take a breather and do ourselves good. A 30-minute seance of cross-stitching can be as effective as a yoga lesson or meditation. Apart from helping escape time, stitching is a wonderful tool against stress, depression, addictions, and medication. It's been proven time and time again, and I have met people who have miracle stories thanks to stitching. In any case, for me, it saved me and gave me a true sense to my life. I wonder what grade she would get if she were really to put that answer on an exam. I thought that was really cool. So don't forget to answer the question to get in the drawing for the thread. I really appreciate you all. I'm up to 700 subscribers, slow and steady. And thanks for watching. Have a great week, everyone, and enjoy the July 4th holiday if you're in the U.S. Bye.